Disclaimer. So got a few things here. You can hear me loud and clear. Perfect. What is a higher level review? That is the topic. And we're going to pull Clyde out of here for now. Stand by. This live stuff's kind of fun. A higher level review is the first step in the appeals process if your VA claim gets denied. If you believe an error was made in your claim and you have the medical evidence to back it up, this is the fastest way to win your VA claim. There's three options. You get your decision letter. You have three options if you don't like it. Higher level review, supplemental claim, or you can go to the Board of Veterans Appeals. Those are your three options. So higher level review, we'll give you the opportunity to talk with a decision review officer on the phone. That's right. You get to talk to one of these guys on the phone in real life, like me and Clyde are right now. And you get to talk talk about your VA claim denial. You won't be able to submit new and relevant evidence, but they will look at your exact claim that you filed and your decision letter. They'll have all that kind of stuff. And the decision review officers are more liberal. They're in a completely different place in Washington, D.C. And they can do things differently that the VA rater can't. That's the whole point of this new appeals process. So they give them more leniency. And if they can see it, they can award your claim or give you a favorable review, but you will get a chance to talk to them. Rating veteran service representatives can only make certain decisions based on evidence, but the DRO they can move the needle for you, but it's got to be there, right? If it's not there and you're trying to appeal a claim that's just not going to work, then that's where you're at. It's not going to work. So if you guys, I'll draw your attention over to the chat window, and I don't know what it looks like, but I've enabled Super Chat. Somebody suggested that. So it's been monetized. So here's what we're going to do. The first Super Chat person that sends me a Super Chat, we're going to give Clyde a treat on camera. So let's get Clyde fat tonight. I've got a big bag of greenies for him. See, look at him. He's just waiting for your Super Chats. He looks sleepy. He really wants greenies. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, it's funny. I just finally monetized the channel and turned that stuff on. So you'll see some ads and stuff like that. But it'll help my electrical lighting and studio that I'm building here, trying to make things better. So that's what it's all going towards. I'm going to play a video, and I don't know how well this is going to work. This stuff is a fluid situation for me. So I'm going to play the video, and this is a guy named Brandon Humphreys who signed up with VA Claims Insider, was a client like me, but then he went on to be a veteran coach, and he made this video, and I like the way he laid out his argument for a higher level review. This is exactly how you do it. This is how you should be looking at your medical evidence. And in his case, they just didn't even consider his medical evidence. And I'll let him explain that, and I'll cut him off and chime in and stuff like that. So his URL is helpvaclaims.com. If you like him, you like the way he thinks, whatever. We have lots of coaches. I look for videos like this. Hey, man, is it cool if I run your video? Yep, perfect. All right, I'll throw your URL up there. So let's go into this and listen to his story. And again, the veteran coaches, all of us veterans, we all, think about these things different ways and explain them different ways. And if you're able to turn screen sharing on and explain your story, I would love to hear it and share it because we all learn from it. So I'm going to turn this off and we'll go into the video.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is veteran coach Brandon Humphreys over at the Increase Hunters. Wanted to come to you today to share a little bit of my experience with a higher level review call that actually turned into a video conference.
Can you
So
guys
I
hear
wanted
me
to
over him?
be able to share kind of what my complaint was and so forth, and then from there how this higher level review conference call actually went, and hopefully I can share some tips and so forth, and you can learn from it. So with my issues, what I ended up having was I had a complaint with my
Let
knees.
me know if you can hear
So
me
I've
over
been
him.
denied 3 different times. My knee was injured in service with my right knee. I
And
don't have a whole lot
you
of
are right. They
documentation on
will
it
call
because
you.
being in the infantry, we were told you
Lucas,
cannot go to
claims
sick call.
Jedi
My
Master.
platoon
Okay, cool.
specifically said if you go to sick call, you're going to get booted out. I was in a reconnaissance platoon. Otherwise, I'd be sent back to the
Can you
line.
hear
And
Brandon? Okay.
that's not what I wanted to do. So I learned how to just suck it up with the guys next to me. Um, so in July of 2018 is when I first ended up submitting my first claim for both my knees. I had gotten out.
I'm just going to pause this right here for a second. So basically, what Brandon's walking through here is his past claims, what he had in service. Once he dug into it, what he actually found out about his claim, and then getting to the higher level review and explaining it to the DRO. So this is a little long, but I'm doing this on purpose because this is how you need to think about this. This is the way you need to be extremely thorough. When I talk about read your decision letter, like read it, understand what it's saying, and then go look for the missing medical evidence. And we'll let him go.
2011, and I left the VA. Did not think I had a disability that I could claim. And I've learned ever since, just like anyone that's watching this, that there's a lot of things that you can claim. Um, so July 2018 is when I first did my knee complaint. Went in November and had a CMP exam, and it was came back denied. I then in September of 2019, within that 1 year window of my decision letter, I made a personal statement. My wife made a personal statement, and I was denied a second time.
Oh, whoops, my microphone was off. I want to just kind of point out his time frame here. July 2018, then followed another claim. You keep your claim alive by hitting your dates every year. Every 12 months, you got to do something supplemental or higher level or BVA to keep your claim alive.
Then after joining VACI, I got a Nexus statement from the med team. I submitted that in March of 2020. Again, was denied. And my frustration went through the roof. So from there, I decided to do a higher level review. Um, I filed that in April of 2020. Um, so as of 8/31 of this year, just a couple days ago, on day 136, I actually finally got the call from the from the senior rater.
This is also another good part to pop in here. You guys ask a lot about what happens with higher level reviews, how long does it take for a decision. In his case, this was a shot in like a month ago in early September. So as of a month ago, with everything that's going on right now, it took 136 days for his phone call.
Um, Asking, and this is what the neat part was saying, would I like to have a conference call? And I'm like, absolutely, that would be great. So that's what ended up happening. But a little bit more detail, because this gets confusing, of kind of like my situation of like, well, why was he denied for all these years or all these different times? Um, so a lot of us didn't have medical documentation. Sometimes you just have things that are only um, in your post-deployment questionnaire and so forth. So there's not a whole lot of documentation, but just has to take a little bit, and you can get that document that proves that there was an injury in service. Um, so, like I said before, I never went to sick call. On my post-deployment questionnaire, I stated that I had right knee complaints and it was a popping sensation. I'm going to show you exactly what the doctor ended up writing for this. So here's my post-deployment questionnaire. It states that I mentioned my right knee has a popping sensation, crepitus, when I'm walking, and it started a few days ago.
Also, for the record, in 1991, I don't remember this. This could have happened. I definitely didn't fill. I don't think it was called this at the time. So you guys that are a lot younger than I am, um, find this thing.
Being a Mr. Tough Guy, I did not recall the exact injury, but I know that there's plenty of things of either jumping off my striker, jumping off HESCOs as we're building walls, just being in the infantry alone, wear and tear. You just get beat up. So there's numerous things that could have caused it. I just couldn't specifically remember the exact moment. And at the same time, you just learn to just hobble through everything and just get through the pain. So I ended up getting out, like I said, in January of 2011. I then later on, by June of 2011, I went to the VA for the first time to an outpatient clinic in St. Louis. There is when I complained about my knee pain. But the problem that I'm learning through all my different denials is that the doctor only documented my left knee. My right knee is what I complained. If we went back to my questionnaire, my post-deployment questionnaire, I complained about my right knee. So I didn't complain about my left knee at the time because my right one is the one that was really hurting.
I'll hop in again because this is the good point. So he's has right knee complaints, and they overlooked it, and this was an error that was caught. And as claims Jedi Master Lucas pointed out, Q claims stuff like this it's littered all over the records. You just got to look for it, and you got to go find it. You may know that it exists, but you have to go find it.
And if you know, like when you go to your VA doctor, currently you can go on the My Healthy Vet and you can see that, hey, there's on the blue button, you can see all your medical documentation. If your doctor or specialist wrote anything for notes and so forth. And that didn't start until, to my understanding, it didn't start until 2013. And so I had gone in 2011. So all of these documents were still in the archives with the VA. So, so my doctor basically said, hey, you know what? Patient complains about left knee pain, give him some ibuprofen, send him on his merry way. And that is, I'll show you what I'm referring to. And this was my medical notes from the doctor that I didn't receive until about 2019.
If you're engaged in the VA claims process at all, whether you're filling out a claim or you haven't filed it yet or you're about to, you should be very familiar with what this looks like. It's exactly the same. These are the blue button reports, the records from the VA. They all look the same, and he was nice enough to go highlight stuff. Continuing on.
Many years later, so I didn't know why I was being denied. Finally, I got the medical records from the VA after requesting them, and then I was able to go through and find out, oh, well, this is why they don't recognize that in June of 2011 that I complained about it. So my doctor had only stated that left knee pain. So there's my left knee that's stated, but it's sharp in nature. It's an 8 out of 10 is what I was saying at the time. I was like, well, and it only helps if I get off my feet. It's worse when I go downhill or down stairs and so forth. And it's just a sharp pain. She focused on that. I had talked about my right knee, and I said that my right knee was more a 5 out of 10. She didn't document it because she heard the 8 out of 10 left knee, focused on that, only relayed in this document my left knee. Totally forgot about my right one. I even said that my left knee had started a couple years. I had previous surgery on my left knee before joining the service. So I but I never had pain. I played baseball in college. I joined the service afterwards. Nothing was a problem. I started. I was in the infantry, uh, doing all the road marches, the long runs, everything that was just rigorous. And then after a couple of years, my left knee did start to act up, but it, just being the tough guy that I am, I just didn't want to complain about it. We all had our own things that we were all dealing with. So this is where the VA only wrote this. So I'm finding out that my denial was that it wasn't documented right after I got out of the service.
He makes some good points here. Jumping in again, the tough guy concept. Shut up, don't be a pussy, suck it up. You don't get out of the military and then all of a sudden that just switches. This takes a while to get this mindset. And I talk to veterans a lot, and I'm going to keep talking about it. You have problems that you don't even know you have. More of those things are like mental health things, but it's all this stuff. You just ignored it because you just pushed through the pain. So this will hurt you when you get out and you're not able to articulate it. And as you'll notice, he's talking more about the left knee, and the doctor. I don't know what actually went down in the meeting, but no shocker, VHA doctor writes the wrong thing. News at 10.
To show like the chronicity, the years, the months of all the chronic pain that I've gone through. So in 2013, I'll actually show you this too. So at the time, the assessment in the plan was my left knee pain. The patient did not have x-rays done yet and advised just to take ibuprofen over the counter, 600 milligrams. That's all my doctor told me to do.
That's a VA doctor for you, right? Ah, yeah. Why don't you just go buy a bunch of stuff from CVS or Walgreens? Okay, bye. Scoot on out of here, veteran.
So I decided, I was like, hey, you know what? That's fine. I'm done. Like, VA wants to act like the typical military. You just suck it up. I guess that's what the VA does. So in 2011, I was like, all right, I'm going to go off to college and finish up my degree. They clearly don't care about you. It's only for people that are missing arms, legs, other things that are more severe from deployment. That's what I thought the VA was like. And that's kind of how I was treated of, hey, take some OTC, carry on. Okay, got it. Just like the infantry.
Got to hop in again. I'm going to keep doing this. This is another huge point. I thought the VA was for people that got shot and had limbs blown off. Just to reiterate, wherever you're at in this process right now, hearing my voice, it doesn't matter what happened to the other guy or the other girl. It's irrelevant. We have plenty of money to take care of our veterans. We give out billions and trillions to every country in the world. So it's not about other people. You're not taking any money out of somebody else's pocket that's more deserving of it. You just worry about your own claim, and that's it.
So in 2013 and 2015, while I was in school, I ended up trying to interact with people because I was older. Ended up trying to get on a soccer league. And during that, I ended up having an injury and I tore my knee even worse. So swelled up. I went to physical therapy at school. They diagnosed me at the time with an MCL tear 2 or tear 2 sprain. I forgot what the technical terminology is. But what I didn't realize is that I had previously injured it while in service. I had complained about it right after service. During 2013, when it really got hurt.
Chronicity of symptoms. He's saying that he didn't realize this at the time. This happens a lot too. He was going, and even though they're like, "Hey, go to CVS and go get ibuprofen," he kept having pain, and he kept having problems, and he kept going back to the doctors. And he's just kind of had this attitude, like, well, the VA is just not going to help me. But he went back through and was like, yeah, I mean, I've been dealing with this since the military. So this is 2020, so he got out in 2010. So he had to go back through here, dig through everything, and go trace everything, and figure out what went wrong. Getting your claims file will do that. You literally have to go read page by page and start looking for errors and inconsistencies.
Like, even worse, it was because I had aggravated it. It was a weak muscle with my MCL, and then I, at least for sure, tore it right then. Didn't realize it wasn't going to get fixed. So in 2015, I had another situation. Did it again by just tweaking it. I literally was on the side of my bed, put my feet up, boom, tore it again. The knee swelled up, could hardly bend it. I knew my physical therapy strategy, so I just followed that because I was Mr. Tough Guy again. I didn't want to go to see any specialists, so I sucked it up, did my routine, was fine. In November 2018 is when I finally first had my first CMP exam, filed my claims for my knee. I got to go see LHI. They did x-rays right after my exam. So did my CMP exam in person, did the range of motion. Afterwards, the provider said, oh, by the way, you need to go to this other clinic. They're going to take x-rays for you. Oh, didn't know that. Didn't know the CMP exam, how it all worked. Didn't even know what a CMP exam was.
Notice how he puts on here that x-rays don't show tears. They don't show anything. If you have problems in your knee, you need an MRI on your knee. X-rays are the standard kind of cover your ass kind of thing. If you know anything about imaging, learn. But X-rays show broken bones and stuff like that. They don't. MRIs show the ligament damage, disc damage, herniated, bulging discs, all that kind of stuff.
Um,
And they
so
don't
I
show
was
tears.
brand new to the whole process, and so I go over there, get the x-rays. Did not realize what were they doing. They were trying to see, like, hey, are there tears or they're not? Well, fun fact, x-rays don't show if there's a tear. X-rays show if there's arthritis.
Tears, not
My
tears. Oops.
x-rays came back showing that I did have arthritis. Um, so they do have that documented um, within my um, CMP, or my decision letter, does state that I did have all these things. So here, I'll show you. Here's my decision letters. So it's kind of another process, like showing you the timeline. So
when I talk about reading your decision letter, um, this is what we're talking about. Going through with a highlighter and highlighting things and double checking, Were my military personnel records from September 6, 2006 through January 30th, 2011, are they actually in there? Were they received? Okay, that's crossed off. Verify that. Okay, next. DD 214, did they actually get it? Okay, that makes sense. Next. Did I have a VA contracted exam by Logistic Health Incorporation, LHI, dated November 7th, 2018? Okay, that happened. Next, right? So when you have it's the decision letter, this is the medical evidence considered, and it's a lot to go through, but you literally need to go through this line by line. And if you lose your claim and you decide to hire a lawyer, this is exactly what they're going to do. This is why I get it. A lot of people aren't naturals at this kind of stuff. I'm definitely not, but I'm learning, and it's literally here in black and white.
So in 2018, I went for my exam. I got a decision letter in January of 2019. It denied me. I then put the supplemental claim September 2019, got denied again. I had my wife and my personal statements. In March, I then used Leah Bushell's, used hers, and for her nexus statement, got denied again. No fault to her. My nexus statement was strong. It proved the point and the connection. It was because that doctor at the time did not have my right knee on my VA notes. They kept trying to say it was from this soccer injury years later. Um, so some of the things that are in favor, my left knee strain here, and at the bottom of your decision letters, they'll always tell you what's favorable. They said, hey, you got a qualifying event or injury from service. I was I was airborne qualified, so my MOS being infantry and having the airborne makes it a little bit harder on your body. Um, I have been currently diagnosed with the disability, with the knee injury, and that my left knee does have degenerative arthritis as well. So they did find that as positives. What they couldn't find was the connection of trying to say, why is this related to time in service? Again,
Huge part, right? Like he's just sitting here going through this whole process. Like, what is wrong? I've got a good solid nexus letter. I have complaints. And it's like they just missed the whole part about the right knee. Like, oh, yeah, it's not service connected.
I come down to my right knee strain. I actually just found this as I was rereading this, getting ready for this. They mentioned, even though this is my right knee strain, they actually mentioned my left knee down here. So there's a typo. But they show that, hey, there is a diagnosis of a disability. You did have an incident while you were in service. Um, you also have knee issues with degenerative arthritis. Well, that sounds great. You got all these pros. I got all of them. I just don't have that nexus statement. Um, and then your treatment records do show that you were treated for knee pain in July of 2010. That was when I came back from my post deployment. So that's going back to that post deployment questionnaire. That's when I complained about it. Switch back over. So after I was trying to build more evidence and actually take care of my knee, I went in the middle of 2019 to my doctor at the VA, my primary care. I told my complaint saying, hey, look, my knee's hurting. I'm buckling. It catches from time to time. I'll literally be carrying my kids, take a step, and I just kind of do a buckle. So she, doing the typical mental health or the kind of like the medical practice or whatever, they got to go line for line. So they sent me for x-rays first instead of just sending me straight for an MRI. So I get sent to x-rays. Then after the x-rays, I was then referred to the VA's physical therapy. Mine was a little bit too far for me to drive constantly. They wanted me to be seen every twice a week. So I was able to be referred to the community care group. And so I was able to go to a physical therapist in my hometown. I did that for on and off for 6 months. At the end of that physical therapy session, I still had the pain. I still had the weakness. I still was buckling when I was walking. I'm like, what's going on? So they finally sent me back to the VA and said, look, we are, as the physical therapist, he's gone through the treatment. He's still having these issues. We now need you to send him for an MRI. They just started with the MRI. It would have been a lot quicker. So I go for the MRI. Sure enough, I have an MCL tear in my right knee. If you have a tear again, it'll never heal itself. You have to have the arthroscopic surgery to fix it. They're going to remove the tear and then stitch it up and heal it. You then got to go back to physical therapy to rework and retrain those muscles because they got torn up. They need to be able to rebuild and get that muscle memory again built back in. So kind of a little bit more of like the timeline. So in the end of 2019, I received basically all that medical documentation of the VA. So the VA, that's where I found, oh, hey, they did not have my my right knee listed. After the third denial that I got, I finally reached out to the patient advocate once I saw that, hey, my right knee's not even mentioned. So I reached out to the St. Louis um, regional office or whatever, or at least St. Louis regional that I fall under, which I think was Jefferson Barracks, if I'm not mistaken. I reached out to the patient advocate and said, hey, look, I've got some records that are missing. And it's back from 2011. I was like, is there any way that we can get that amended? And they said, yeah, fill out this form, send it in to us. And so as proof, what I ended up doing was I sent uh, my post-deployment questionnaire along with basically what I was saying was missing and what I would like it to say. And so the patient advocates did their own internal research. Sure enough, the doctor that saw me in 2000 was still working, and so they talked together behind the scenes, and I got a call shortly after saying, we do see that there was a mistake on our end. We will amend those documents. So if I go back to so on this page, this was my original. I only complained about, or they only documented my left knee. Here's the updated portion. You still have the 8 out of 10 for the left knee. But most importantly, everything highlighted here is patient complains about right knee pain. That was documented while in service on post-deployment physical. Pain is 5 out of 10 with a popping sensation, crepitus. I took word for word from my questionnaire, my post-deployment questionnaire, and asked that that be put in as the notes. And so they did.
Yeah, my mic's off.
And
Sorry,
at the
guys.
very
Thanks.
end, they also updated the assessment and plan. So originally, the doctor only talked about my left knee. Now I have my
So he's going back through and adding all this stuff in. Can you guys still not hear me? I think I don't know what happened to him. Hopefully, hopefully this continues. If not, I'll ditch it.
right knee. I have my right knee. Patient did not have x-rays. They did not send me for x-rays. They did not send me or refer me to an MRI. They did not refer me to physical therapy. So that's what I'm complaining about when I'm trying to do this higher level review. So that's kind of like the backstory of what I've done leading up to the higher level review. So going back to the higher level review,
I turned
I
him
waited
up. Sorry, guys.
136 days so I filed in April. So if anyone filed in April 2020, you should be starting to receive that call any day now. I had a previous higher level review about 3 weeks ago for mental health, and that was filed in March. I did actually win my I got back pay for 2 years, so that was a huge win for me. So I received this call on 8/31 a couple days ago. Day 136, random number called, so make sure you answer those numbers. The person on the phone was actually the senior rater, and she asked me, she said, hey, this is something new that we'd like to try out. Would you be interested in doing a video conference? I'm like, absolutely. I would love to be able to do a face-to-face with you. Um, never had this opportunity before. It's usually you just talk to someone on the phone for a short time. I wanted to make sure that I could see face to face with this person. That would be great. That way they can see my emotions and my frustration of what's been going on. So 20 minutes later, I had the link. We signed on and we were able to do a video conference face to face. And basically what the rater had asked was, what did she feel that the VA erred on their part, and why my higher level review was being requested. So what had happened for my third denial, the VA actually had sent out, so I sent in my Nexus letter from VACI's independent doctor that gave favor to me. Before that, the VA kept saying, nope, we're denying you. We don't see why this is connected. So what they ended up doing was they sent my my supplemental claim for a review to another party, another third party, basically CMP exam. And so basically now I got two VA people versus my one. So now they outnumbered me. So instead of having, hey, here's a bad or like not in favor, and here's an in favor, according to 38 CFR, there's a reasonable doubt, and that the tie should always go to the veteran. They did not play by their rules. They sent it off for a second opinion.
They
That
never
second
play by the
opinion
rules.
then trumped me again. So that's where I lost out on the third denial. But I'm not going to give up. And that's why I filed a higher level review, because I wanted a senior rater to take a better look. So when we were talking, I wanted to reference that there were these two 38 CFRs to reference. The 3.102 states that there's reasonable doubt after careful consideration.
This is something that I'm going to depart from. When you're dealing with the at these lower stages, you're still not in the BVA yet, where it's all VA law. It's still with a senior rater. You're they know the law, but you're still dealing with the M21-1 adjudication manual a lot. So it's risky throwing in and citing VA law in a higher level review. Not saying don't do it. Risky, but you definitely better know what law you're citing and why you're citing it, and why you're planting your flag on that mountain.
All data, the favor goes in the form of the claimant, the veteran. Reasonable doubt is meant for one which exists because of approximate balance of positive. So I had my positive from my nexus statement and a negative evidence, which was from the VA. And how that's supposed to be resolved, so I pointed out 4.3, is that the way that you have to resolve it is that in such doubt that it'll be resolved in favor of the claimant. I had a positive and they had a negative. It should have gone to me. So that's what my fight was. And I hope that people will learn that you need to know your 38 CFRs when you're talking to these senior raters. At the very end, I got a compliment from her. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but this is what VACI does. We educate everyone. And since I've joined as a client and became a coach, I have learned. I was at the end, the senior rater actually asked me, she's like, I don't know what you do for a living, but you seem very knowledgeable with the claims process and the 38 CFRs. We really think that you, if in the future, if you're looking for a job, I would highly encourage you to apply to become one.
So anyway, I wanted to show that to you, just so you have a sense of, how thorough you need to be. I talk about, when you're engaged with the VA and medical evidence, I just want to kind of show you, what this means, just one person's story. Lots of people look at it and interpret this stuff in different ways. And he's actually to be continued on this one. So I just got it. I thought it was a good story. I wanted to share the thoroughness of what he was doing, and how deep you need to go diving into this stuff to check it out. So nobody's taking me up on the. I know Alex has money. I know Lucas has money. Where's my first super chat at? Look at Clyde over there. He's not eating. He's just showing his butt to the camera. Nobody found the super chat. Just put your credit card number in there. So let's take some comments. If you are able to articulate your story like this at any level, what's up, Jeff? Please share it. These screen sharings. This is something that I've learned a lot from. Once I signed up with VA Claims Insider, just a lot of veteran coaches. Alex is one of them. So he makes videos. It's just that's why I make videos. It's a easier way to explain things. I don't show a lot of medical documentation, so this is mixing it up. I don't know if you guys like it or you just want to hear me ramble on. But if you have a story to share and you've assembled this stuff, please send me the video and get a hold of me. And let's I'll show this. Like you just everybody looks and interprets this stuff differently. We're all different, right? All different veterans, different disabilities, different individuals, different VA regional offices, but we all have to fight it the same. And it's not. There's no participation trophies. You either win or you lose. Like it's that simple, right? So let's take a couple of questions and see what's going on out there. Lots of avatars. I'm happy to see more avatars. AJ is in the Hundo Club, PNT. You should be able to throw me a super chat. What's up? Yes, I think I'm cute too. No, I know. It's probably the other guy. His butt. Clyde is me on a Friday night. That's what's funny. We're all here on a Friday night, and I don't really look at the schedule. I try to throw a half hour notice out there. When I'm feeling like talking, I talk. So I haven't really been doing it at 3 in the morning, but yeah, I seem to be doing it a lot at night. Boom. Good question. Should I cancel that claim? You can withdraw a claim. Make sure you do it properly. Um, I got my first super chat. I don't know how to show that. Right on. I don't know what happens with that, but old Lucas hooked it up. Now I need to figure out how to have Clyde dancing. But instead, we're going to go Clyde full screen. Clyde, want a minty? Look, you just earned a little super chat, bud. Uncle Lucas hooked it up for you. I thought I'd be a little bit more enthusiastic than that. Oops, I scooted him out of the way. I wonder if I can. Oh, well, he made quick work of that. Thanks, Lucas. My first super chat. So yeah, we're here. We are on Friday night doing what we do. Nothing, right? In our homes, not going out. I don't mean because of the current situation. I mean I do this all the time. So I'm not. I'm just kind of hopping in the middle of this conversation here, so I'm not with you 100%. But if your claim sucks, and you know it sucks, and it's not something you want to take to the mat and argue all the way in the court of law because you're going to just lose, even though they are liberal. I mean, you got to at least show up with medical evidence and service connection and a disability, severity of symptoms, chronicity of symptoms, and care and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, if you know it sucks, I would just ditch it. Just don't appeal it, and you can literally file another claim, and you could build it properly the first time, and no harm, no foul on that. Probably everybody on here has done it at least once, and I've done it 3 times. In addition to that, it took me 27 years to finally win. You're waiting on your decision letter. Oh, okay, so you got a reduction notice, I'm guessing. Not quite tracking you. Aztec Keen, what's up, man? I love your emojis. You always make me laugh, and you're cool. Um, we should we should talk again. I don't save numbers, but give me a call again, man. We had a good chat. Oh wow, okay. So now I'm seeing him. So Alex threw me 420. Smoke him if you got him. Perfect. This is fun. Claims Jedi Master. Yeah. At the higher level review, people will call you. And I still need to work on the super chat thing because I use a system, and I'll just show you what I'm doing. I think I could share. So I use turn on. So I don't know if you could see my whole screen. You should be able to. So I'm not in YouTube and I can't really see what the super chat thing does, but I guess you can pin your comment up at the top or something like that. So I need to integrate it into the Ecamm live software here, and I need to use a another streaming service to do it. So there's a lot of things that I'm working on with the live streaming, lighting, green screen. I'm gonna set up an actual studio and ditch the green screen, but it works for now. It's kind of fun. Putting the microphone in front of my face because audio is the most important thing, except for that guy right there. He's the most important thing. Good boy. I should probably. Actually, we got another super chat. I didn't even see Alex's. Clyde, guess what? You get another one. How's that sound? Another little minty? Yeah. Get Clyde fat tonight. Oh, whoops! I didn't put Clyde on there. Thanks, Uncle Alex. Thanks, Uncle Lucas. Okay, scrolling through. Yep, VA Claims Insider has a med team, psych team, med team. I'm going to switch my screen back here. So anyway, can't remember what I was saying. Oh, I need to integrate some stuff in here. That's what I was saying. How do I get rid of this? Come on, mouse. Okay, so VA Claims Insider has folks that will write nexus letters, the rationale, and all that stuff. Psych team, full med team, IBS, GERD, chronic fatigue syndrome, migraines, just to name a few off the top of my head. Female arousal disorder, erectile dysfunction, and then a whole host of psychological things. One of many choices. Pick whatever choice works for you. Just get medical evidence. You got chronic fatigue rated at 0%, just got diagnosed with sleep apnea. Can I get that as a secondary claim? Yeah, you can file sleep apnea to secondary to something. I wouldn't go directly. Chronic fatigue might work, probably would work, but it's not directly. There needs to be something in between. I think you could do it directly. I'm sure people will probably want it, but do your research. And yes, sleep apnea is a good secondary claim to a lot of things. But just kind of keep in mind with sleep apnea, relatively easy to get a sleep study, relatively easy to get a diagnosis. I mean, you either have sleep apnea or you don't. So once you have it, the hard part is the nexus. So it's usually going to be caused by something like weight gain or medications. PTSD doesn't cause sleep apnea. Medications that cause you, or if your foot's plantar fasciitis or something like that, your lack of movement, weight gain. You have to throw an intermediate step in there for sleep apnea. That's the way you do it properly. And as you're doing your research, you're probably going to find that sleep apnea is all over the board. Some people win it and great, I got the 50%. And then a lot of people are like, wow, that sucked. It's all in the way you frame your argument. More super chats. So this is fun. I feel like a stripper. You're not going to I don't think I could show my ass. Clyde, you get another one. That's from Tom Patrick. Good boy. Mouse is having problems. Seeing some avatars in here. That's nice. Yeah. Tom has a good point here. And he made this point to me. And I agree with it. and it does contradict what I was showing you in the video. Um, Depending on your situation and how well you know how to make your argument, Brandon obviously, I mean, he's a veteran coach and he's making arguments for other veterans like Alex does. But if you're, not able to make the argument in person, you can file the higher level review and then just make the argument in writing. They don't need to call you. Here's why I disagree based on this, this, and this. And remember, these higher level reviews, they just come out of the blue. Some number you've never heard of, whatever, it's not block number, but like Washington, D.C. at 10 o'clock in the morning, like you've been expecting it, but you forgot about it. It's been 4 months. So, you might be in a situation where you can't just, drop everything and have your head in the game to argue it. So you can just write and request no phone call. I'm going to do a quick little intermission for a second. You guys can watch Clyde. Stand by. Like being able to have that second camera. That's kind of one of these cool features of this. I'm still going. Actually, I'm going to scroll from the bottom. I know some of you guys kind of come in and go out. Yes, good point, Bill. And you would fall in the category of people that should talk to a raider or a senior raider. I mean, if you can't, like, I wouldn't want to. I talk about this stuff, but when it comes to my own claim, it just like, wow, all of a sudden everything's on the line. So that's why I hired V Claims Insider and got help. I'm just one of those guys. I can explain this stuff to you, and the goal is to get you thinking, and whether you need help or not, or whatever, can't afford it, or whatever your deal is. I'm just trying to get you thinking so you can figure something out, so you can move in a direction. That's the whole goal of what I'm doing here. But definitely, not everybody should be talking to a VA raider or a DRO in a higher level review situation. Yeah, SSRIs. Those are the what are the like depression meds? I don't have them off the top of my head. Like Wellbutrin's probably one. A lot Prozac's probably one of them. So SSRIs can aggravate sleep apnea. I like that. Aggravated by, not caused by, right? We were just talking about that the other night. Depends on how you frame your argument, but yes, rhinitis, deviated septum, allergies, sinus polyps, easy connections, and I talk about easy claims to win, and all claims are easy to win if you do them right. When you're doing them wrong and you're not educated, I mean, obviously that goes without saying, but it seems harder. But it's just simply you don't know what you're doing. No big deal. Figure it out. Get some help. That's what we're doing. 80% of the veterans are underrated. What are there, 19, 20 million veterans? We got a lot of people to help. So tell a friend. Let's get this VBA party going. Tom Patrick, hooking it up for $4.99. Thanks, man. I'm gonna have to probably give him another click treat just because I'm seeing it. This super chat thing's funny. Clyde, you want another one? You want another little minty? You got another super chat, bud. Such a good boy. He's just sitting there, like got a light on him and a camera on him, but he's like, oh, whatever. Keep throwing minties and meat products my way. I'll do this super chat stuff all day long. It, yeah, he does want to sleep, but he'd much rather be eating minties. Look at him. What are you doing, boy? You pretty happy? Yep, you're good. Good boy, Clyde. Okay, going up. Eric showed up with an avatar. Good job, man. I actually did a couple VA benefits in a couple different states. I don't know what I'm going to do on in Idaho. There's a lot of states. I did one on California and Florida, so got quite a few to do. This was an example of doing a higher level review, but again, um, this this guy Brandon, he understands how to make an argument, how to go find what he's looking for. He knows it there, but I mean, you could literally read it over and over again if you don't get it. Some people are just good with finding this stuff. I would not say I fall in that category, but I know how to find people to help me find this kind of stuff. Um, so I just thought it was a good example. If you can get in there and find it and correct the record, absolutely. That's a good way to do it. I mean, it's like, all right, cool. It wasn't in my records. There you go, dickheads. Now it's in there. Next. There's one of Lucas's. Saw one of those pop up. What can I do? They don't have my record for all the years and treatment I got for 4 years. What do you mean they don't have the record? Where is it? Did they lose it? Or did they say they lost it? Or are they just blowing you off? Get after them. Do not. That's not acceptable. We don't have your records. That's not going to work. You need more. Go to the patient advocate at your local VA regional office. If you know records exist, like get them. That's your new mission, especially if the keys to your winning claim are in those records. Forget the money. The advice is free. Absolutely. Lucas is just throwing 4.99s left and right. $15, my man. Let's see. What a great story and a lot of work and knowledge that most vets don't have. That's why it's important to watch. Yeah, it was a 25-minute video. I'm not sitting, whatever. I guess I'm entertaining from time to time. But the purpose is education. So send the videos. If you have info and you can, I could help you redact information. I have a good PDF thing that can just like get your names out of there and stuff. Showing different records, what they look like in the Vietnam days, what they look like in the 80s, what they look like in the 90s, Desert Storm, what they look like now as it's been more digitized. It gets easier to read because the transfer from paper to, it's like paper writing, paper typewriting, and then actual computers. But it looks a little bit differently. So the more you can look at, especially, if you're seeing something about a knee, how are they talking about knee problems in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and now? You just can't get enough of looking at this kind of stuff, looking at examples. Let's see. Exam coming up on Monday. You have your buddy letter ready. Your buddy letter should have already been submitted with your claim. Did you get a independent medical opinion? Like all your medical, it's you claim submitted. So your CNP exam, you don't need your buddy letter ready. You need your story ready. I'm just grabbing your comment out of the blue here, so I'm not sure. Probably somebody else has probably told you this. But you need to go nail your CNP exam. So you don't need to go to a higher level review, right? So buddy letter's good, and you could bring it, and you could bring other notes, but that stuff you should have filed that all, and the CNP examiner will have it. Whether he actually looked at it, he'll say, "Yeah, I did a thorough review of 20 years of medical records." How much they actually do, unknown. If you have something and you didn't submit a buddy letter or a personal statement or something like that, you can present it to the CMP examiner. Just know that the moment you do that, you're now eating time on your precious 10 minutes or half hour, and you're actually talking about some other piece of medical evidence, and you're talking about it to a doctor who has nothing to do with the VA that actually rates you. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can present evidence and info to your CNP exam, but what you really need to focus on is presenting your story and nailing it, regardless of, they think you're a liar, they're blowing you off. I mean, you got to be able to determine if you got an adequate CNP exam, but you need to be able to go in there, talk about your disability that you're there to get checked out on. And they will tell you what you're going for. I'm going for fibromyalgia. Okay, talk about that. Don't talk about your knees, unless that's part of it. It actually is. Fibro is a bad example. You know what I mean? Go in there to your tinnitus exam and only talk about the ringing in your ears. Don't talk about orthopedic conditions and stuff like that. And it's not a mental health exam, so it's not like you're setting the doctor up to kind of, tee off a good mental health claim if that's what you're going to do for somatic symptom disorder. He's an audiologist. He's not going to deal with mental health. He's going to put you in a booth and beep, 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 and that's it. You're in Columbia. What's that? Missouri? Montana? Missouri, I think. Okay, back to the bottom of the list here. 65 people, hour and 3 minutes, cruising right along. Please ask your questions. Keep them coming. I am just tickled to death to see all you old school guys or non-computer literate guys coming up with avatars. I hate seeing non-avatars. And yes, Bill's one of them. And look at that kick-ass avatar that he's got going on. Loving it. And it's funny just from what I see, through my streaming software. It's just kind of funny. I see all these avatars. How do you make an appointment with your coach at VA Claims Insider? Do you have a coach? You usually sign up through a link and you get assigned a coach. So if you've done that already, they'll reach out to you. I guess support at VA Claims Insider would probably be my best advice. I don't work for them. I don't know what the system is like, but you sign up and you get a coach. If you're having problems with your coach, eliminate those problems. Figure out how to, whatever. Hey, dude, I'm going to need to talk to you. So if you can't talk to me, I need another coach. I don't know how that process works. That's the way I would attack it. Whoever that is. And I'm not just calling out VA Claims Insider. A VSO, a lawyer, whoever is helping you, do not accept being blown off. There's going to be a part, especially up front, right? Whether it's a higher level review, initial claim, supplemental claim, or BVA, you're hitting marks. Usually they're 12-month marks. So you have to do something by a certain date, and then you do it. So if you're filing an initial claim, then you're going to probably have a lot more conversations about strategy and medical evidence required and that kind of stuff. And then you file your claim. There's nothing more to talk about because you got to wait for 5 months for your decision letter. There's nothing you can do talking to a VSO or a lawyer or anybody. You have to wait for your decision letter and read it, and then you start figuring out your next plan of attack. So I don't want to, these veteran coaches and VSOs, they need to be communicative with you when it's necessary. Just because you're sad and pissed off and frustrated that it's taken 2 months and you're 2 months into a 6-month wait. I get it. It's frustrating. You're probably not going to get a lot of response out of those guys. I mean, what are they going to do? Get on the phone with you and say, I have no idea what the VA is doing. It's They're probably not going to be very responsive. My Y Gold. You look new. I like your avatar. Love your advice. Just retrieved your sleep study results. Must be in Chinese. Yeah, I don't. Trying to read sleep study results. Um, you should have a diagnosis of sleep apnea. That's what you're after. Do you have one or do you not? And an even more obvious thing would be, did you get prescribed a CPAP machine? That's obvious. If you have that, you don't really need to know everything that's in a sleep study. Now, I mean, I'm kind of on both sides of the fence on this because I have a sleep study. I maybe it's because I didn't file a sleep apnea claim, but it's like I'll post some of my nerve conduction tests on my numb finger and my ulnar nerve, and I don't understand a lot of this stuff. I have MRIs. I can't just I have software that'll fire up an MRI, but I have no clue what I'm looking at. So within reason, understand as much as you can. But yeah, I mean, I've looked at sleep study results. I had a sleep specialist show me mine, show me the important parts, but it all looked like Chinese to me too. We're gonna do a little Clyde intermission break. You want one more greenie? Big boy. Good boy, Clyde. Clyde's digging it. Also, where's my phone number at? I'm going to this software is coming up with an update, and it's going to be a real easy way for me to do interview style stuff. Um, I still can't figure out how to put my phone number through. I don't want to hold the phone up to the mic; it'll just be kind of lame. It needs to be fed through the computer. So if you want to come on and talk about something and do an interview style thing, it's so funny. I don't have my phone number. Stand by. Let me post this thing back up. Typing is difficult with the mic right here. Google. There it is. All right, get out of the way. Okay, how do I, let's see, this is unlocked. Yeah, see, you set these things up ahead of time, so if you need them, it's easy to put them up. It's really tiny and the wrong color. Come on, edit, turn it white. All right, so yeah, if you want to do some kind of interview thing, give me a call or send me a text. We'll set an interview up, and if you have the ability to do a screen share, like a Zoom call or something like that, and your lighting and your mic is halfway decent, and you have something to share that would be helpful for our community, let's do that too. No topics are off limits. We're not trying to get anybody too irritated here, but we need to talk about what we could talk about within YouTube's terms of service. And if we start going out of those boundaries, I'll tell you. You can hear me pissing, huh? Well, sorry about that. How do you go from unemployability to total and permanent individual ratings add up to more than 100%? So do you have a current rating for IU? Let's see. So you're at 70%, I'm guessing. John, tell me more if you can. I'm going with you're at 70%. You haven't worked in 12 years. You won your individual employability claim, and you're getting paid at the 100% rate. And you're trying to figure out how to make that permanent and total. That's what I think you're asking. If I'm missing it, please clean me up in the comments. If it's static, that's when you get permanent and total. So, not sure when you've had a reevaluation last or whatever, but that's the get your code sheet and find out if all your disabilities are static. If they're considered static, that's when the PNT comes in, and it's a mixed bag. Um, if you find out that all your disabilities are static, you can ask for it, but they should be doing their due diligence and give it to you. So, okay, so you said yes. Yeah, so get your rating code sheet and find out if you're static. That's you have at least one disability in your list that's not considered static. Most likely, it's a mental health thing, and I don't know what the time limit is. I don't know how long you've had your 100% rating. But if you're not getting better and you're seeking treatment, and it's just like, yeah, depression, 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 10 years in a row, at some point they're going to give it up. You might have to point it out to them like, hey, I haven't improved in 10 years. I've had the same rating. What do you think about making it static? Joseph, you don't necessarily have a CPAP claim just because you have sleep apnea. It could be completely not service related at all. And that's the way it is until you actually prove that it is service connected. Um, yeah, I mean, if you want to file a claim, you're going to need to figure out how you're going to do that. I have a CPAP machine prescribed to me, and I have mild sleep apnea, like a scale of 1 to 10, like 5 being the bar where they prescribe you on. I'm at 6, so I barely got over the bar. The doctor said it was mild. He noticed that I was in cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBT. And he's like, you need to learn how to sleep. You have insomnia problems. Like that cord, like he was already telling me, like, I'm sure that CPAP machine's just making you sleep worse. I was like, yeah, I mean, I can't even use that thing for a half hour. But he's like, whatever, you know what it is. You're probably going to get fatter and older and worse, and it's going to get worse. So, welcome to the CPAP. You don't have to use it now, but as you get moderate or severe, you're going to have to learn how to use that thing. So, this is the time to get the thing before before you're worse. 9 million are eligible for VHA. Yep, low numbers, low rookie numbers. Active duty and veterans, remember to document all your symptoms and everything possible related to your disability. Don't worry about what anybody thinks or says. Exactly, especially if you're on active duty. Just at some point, you're getting out. Hopefully, you're not in a med board situation, but it doesn't matter. If that's the case too, then it doesn't really matter. Just you got to get over the suck it up part. And when you can start working on your claim 180 days out, like you're out and they don't care about you anyway. Guess what? Whatever you're doing in the Army's going to be just fine without you. They've been fine without you since day one. So don't worry about what anybody thinks and says. Just go to the doctor and get everything checked out, because I guarantee you have problems inside of you because you're used to sucking it up and not complaining. And you might be roaming around with sleep apnea, GERD, or IBS or something, and you don't even know that you have it. BA mass, so you're 88 rounded up to 90. But you're IU, right? So I didn't get that part. I see you talk about the numbers. But if you're on IU, you're getting paid at 100. So you just need to get 100 PNT for TDIU, right? None of my CMP docs for sleep apnea or GERD IBS mention weight gain as a cause. I was 176 when I finished boot camp and 215 when I was discharged. Yep, that's my story. I'm heavier than that probably now. Um, yeah, they won't mention weight gain. It's a tricky thing. They call it an intermediate step or intermediary step. I think it's called intermediate step. So you need to learn about it. There's law in there, and it's the logical argument. I don't know how to explain it very well. I just know that weight gain is going to be the thing they blame your sleep apnea on, and you need to be able to have an argument for. Yeah, absolutely, I totally agree. I have the CPAP machine. I have sleep apnea. I have the weight gain, and all that is because of my service connected foot and the meds that you're giving me for PTSD for the last 5 years. That's why I've gained all this weight. So you need to have an explanation, and that explanation needs to be given by a doctor, and that is an argument for the claim. What are most common secondaries for service connected mental health ratings? You name it. I mean, obviously, if you're service connected for mental health, an orthopedic condition doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm sure it's happened, but you could get tinnitus secondary to mental health, migraine secondary to mental health, GERD and IBS secondary to mental health, sleep apnea secondary to mental health, but you're not going to get plantar fasciitis. I'm sure it's happened, but I mean, that's not logical. You have mental health issues. Um, do they cause you to get foot pain? I mean, I'm sure it's happened. Anything's possible. But those are just a couple of secondaries to mental health. Most of them are high value, and you want to focus on the high value claims that have a high chance of getting rated 30% or higher. Wow. Now I'm seeing these things. Like I said, I need to have something come up on my screen. Clyde, you're going to get another one. Uncle Tom is hooking you up, bud. You pretty happy? You want another minty? Yeah? Good boy. Thanks, Uncle Tom. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate the support, man. Yeah, and I've talked to Tom. He actually has just kind of while we're on this sleep apnea conversation, we're wandering around from the higher level review stuff, but that's what I do. So Tom has he has an interesting condition, and he just um, the way some guys explain their stuff to me. When they know what they're talking about, they know how to explain it. Like when they can explain it, like they have to explain it to a CNP examiner, it comes out. But Tom has COPD, so I think he's working on. So first of all, COPD is 60, and sleep apnea. He has a CPAP machine. He has that too. That's 50. So he didn't even go. You might be able to get both. I'm not really quite sure. I better get into the. I'll get back to Tom. We got another one, Clyde. Now we're gonna get the bag open again. You got another super chat, bud. He's probably had about six of those. Say thanks to John. Yeah. So anyway, uh, Tom was saying that COPD. He has a higher rating for COPD, and he's not going after the sleep apnea thing. And I think what he's doing is depression. And we were talking about depression secondary to COPD, and I thought he made a good argument. Just like when you have COPD, you don't know if you're going to have enough breath to like sit in your chair or lay in bed and breathe, much less walk and breathe. So I thought that was a good a good way to explain it. All right, you're out of here, Clyde. I saw Alex say something. Where is it? It's not just weight gain as an intermediate step. There's some very specific things that go with that, and you got to know how to address it or the claim will fail. Yes, I do not know how to address it. I do talk to Alex, and Alex is a veteran coach, and he knows how to win sleep apnea claims. Um, let's just say, as of right now, out of all the sleep apnea claims that he's helped veterans file, he's batting 100. He hasn't lost one of them yet. Let's see. Okay, so your friend retired, Tina. Yeah, so that was different because he was probably diagnosed with sleep apnea while on active duty. He retired, so obviously he's older, right? 40s. That's the best way to do it. If you have a diagnosis in service, it's really hard for them to wiggle out of it. Weight gain related to depression meds, yeah, yep, yeah. You can weight gain itself is not a claim, but it's an intermediate step. And I'm going to quit talking about it. I would say probably talk to Alex, this guy. Yeah, it's complicated and you have to understand how to navigate it. It's so complicated, I don't even understand how to explain it. I just know go do your research. Sleep apnea directly to PTSD isn't logical. Directly to your feet is more logical, but the weight gain is a factor, and you need to know how to talk through that factor. And I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I just put the Clyde cam on. Yeah, look at him. He's like, "What's up? Uh, look how cute I am." Yeah, he had his butt to the camera before. He's all about it right now. What's up? What's up, super chats? Are you guys on drugs? I am on drugs. Yes, I would think probably a majority of the people in here are on drugs. Absolutely. Yeah, Clyde probably has sleep apnea too. He snores. Fat like his daddy. Although sleep apnea falls outside the diagnostic range for some pulmonary claims, the VA typically makes the argument for pyramiding. Typically. And again, sleep apnea, tricky diagnostic range is a good way to put that, dude. Yep, time for water. He's actually got his water. I don't think Clyde's really too worried about his IBS. What do you think? He's like, hey, how about a super chat steak? That would be better. Yep, time for your next steps. Definitely. Weight gain due to orthopedic issues. Totally makes sense. And it does have numerous secondary claims. Absolutely. Tarsal tunnel? Is that like carpal tunnel? What happens if the VA says that you're disabled for a claim that you never filed for that's also not service connected, like lung and cough when you were near burn pits overseas? Uh, yeah, so the duty to assist is probably what had this happen. That's probably how you got this, John. You might have filed another claim or something, and then they threw in something else, and then you probably you mentioned it. Like usually they don't just go fishing for things. You mentioned it somewhere, CNP exam or a personal statement. Like it's literally these CNP exams. You get in there and you start talking, and you say, a half a second of the wrong thing, and they slap it on you. Um, if you have lung and cough conditions, and you're probably a combat veteran, and if you're in the burn pit registry and Gulf War veteran and stuff like that, I would look at the presumptive conditions and study up on that. I made a video about that recently. I know I need to make about 20 more because that's our generation of Agent Orange. all over the board. It's literally when you look through all the things that could possibly happen, it's everything. Yep, we are walking pharmacies. Okay, so that wasn't a misspelling. I never heard of tarsal tunnel on both feet. No white claw for white dog. Oh, absolutely, Tom. You sure can. Am I Brian? Nope. I am Combat Craig. You definitely didn't get an email from me. But welcome. Who in the heck? Oh, get an avatar. Join the conversation, though. Uh, yeah, Gulf War related. Uh, that's yeah, it does say that. Yeah, Alex sees a lot of records and stuff like that. I know, huh? Sea rats had smokes in them. Were they like they weren't even camel non filters? They're just non filtered. No, um, you've had your CPAP for a few days. The criteria as it sits right now is you need to be prescribed a CPAP. So you can throw it away, and it doesn't matter how much you use it at all. You have a diagnosis of sleep apnea, and you were prescribed a CPAP. So that part you have. I mean, use it if you have to, obviously, but literally it doesn't matter how much you do. I know on Medicare they check the modem and check how much they use it, but the VA doesn't do that yet. But you need to figure out what you're going to connect it to. That's going to be your. It's not like it's. I'm not going to say tough. Just be strategic and understand what you're doing. Chronic cough could be a sign of GERD. I'm down with that. Is it difficult to win a higher level review for effective dates? I think it's a completely different argument. I don't know if anybody knows. I'm pretty sure a higher level review is not the venue for arguing effective dates. I'm just going to say, yeah, that's not the right venue, but it could be. I just don't think it is. Hopefully, somebody can. Sorry, I can't answer that. Sleep apnea is not presumptive to anything. That I am 100% for sure about. So, no, not on any presumptive list out there that I'm aware of. So, I'm going to have to go do. Now we're talking about nice kick ass avatar, Tony. Um, I'm going to have to. So, that's what I'm thinking because I have carpal tunnel in my right hand. So, I'm just thinking tarsal and carpal, but I'm going to go learn about it because that sounds like it sucks. You're welcome. Sorry, these comments just kind of are flying by, and I just kind of grab onto stuff. I'm not really going in chronological order. Cool. So Alex is your coach. How's he doing for you? Yeah, VA doesn't care about CPAP use, and it just needs to be prescribed by a doctor, and that's it. Wow, John broke it off again. Clyde, what do you think? It's time for another greenie. You got another super chat, Clyde. You're gonna have a little GERD after this night. What do you think? Good boy. We're gonna have to might have to break him in half. We'll see how he's feeling tomorrow. Bet his craps are gonna be green. Thanks, John. Appreciate the support. Help out the studio. All right. Well, it's been an hour and 30 minutes. Covered quite a lot of topics. This is the 10-minute warning bell. So throw your questions in, and it might go on for another hour, but I'm kind of like getting ready to hop off. While you're talking about CPAP, when you go to renew your driver's license in Maine and admit you have a CPAP, no license without a doctor note. Huh. Not familiar with that. Yeah. Never even heard of that. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Thanks for the thanks for the info. I wonder what the sleep apnea laws are in Idaho. You're right. Like, regardless of how mild mine is, I have a CPAP machine. I have a diagnosis of sleep apnea. Hopefully, the law is not like that here. Yes, there is a presumptive list. It's confusing, but literally Google that presumptive list for Gulf War veterans and start chasing the rabbit holes. You'll get some VA pages, some lawyer pages. Uh, uh, go check into it. Afghanistan veterans. I know that Afghanistan is not on the Gulf War list, but either is Turkey. But you're still a Gulf War veteran. It gets a little tricky with Afghanistan, is all I'm going to say about that because I don't really know too much about it. Not really sure why it's even like that. All right, 10-minute warning is over. Good chat tonight, kids. Thanks for all the support and my debut of the super chat. Thanks to all you guys. You guys rock. And Clyde loves you. And I will see you soon.